Hello and welcome back to Storytime with Valen, our first real episode, hopefully. Here is our Bosmer, Valen, who has come to Skyrim seeking the help of the Nords to help eradicate the Thalmor scourge from his homeland, a homeland which he has never actually been to. He's naive about a lot of things. He is very, very slightly trained in a smattering of skills, which explains the starting character of any character in Skyrim. He has a bow, which we will equip now. And again, for those of you that are just starting this one off, I think I have some of my sound issues taken care of. But a few of these beginning episodes are going to be heavy on the mod talk. So I'll just go ahead and get that done and say hello to my wife and Steve, who are probably going to be the only people watching this, which are fine. So this right here is Sky UI. This is one of the best, my favorite mods in the game. It takes the interface from a console-friendly, console-centric to something for PC. You notice it utilizes more of the screen than before. And here we have a filter, which doesn't seem that big of a deal right now, but later on it's nice when you have to find things. And my favorite option of this is the weight per value. When you get weighed down by stuff, you can click on this and see what you can throw away. You can sort things by their tabs. This is a mod unto itself, so frankly I don't actually remember what that mod is. But we have it. It's good. But we can look down and we can see that if we had to get rid of something, the shoes have the least value per weight ratio. And that'll be more important later on. But so we have a bow, and this is where we're starting out. Excuse me. We have a camp. This is the camp that you get with the alternative start mod, Live Another Life. It's got a fire, cooking pot, a place to sleep, wood, and a goodie bag. So let's explore that real quick. So doesn't start us off with anything too serious, but it's nice stuff, things we can sell. You can see here the ratio lets you know. Again, if you just want to grab the most valuable stuff. Oh, and something magical already. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab this stuff. We'll just say this is what he came with. A couple lockpicks. And I don't know why he'd necessarily have any. Maybe he's bringing Nord Reserve to bribe his Nord friends. Might be expensive where he's at. And food is very important. We are using the Realistic Needs and Disease mod. Bosmer are mostly, from all descriptions, carnivores. I'm not going to be holding too true to that. Because the Realistic Needs and Disease mod, if you do not eat, you will probably die. I've never actually died from it, but it goes without saying that if we're going to be immersive with role-playing, we're going to make sure he eats. And we can check it out. We have the setup mod to check out. I'm slightly peckish, slightly thirsty, not tired and sober. Now, we do not have any water right now, but we do have bottles. So if we find some water, we can do it. Now, I want to show off and get it started one of the mods for Hunterborn. There are a few mods we're going to be dealing with that are for immersion. Also see making things more difficult. And Hunterborn is one of them. The other one... excuse me. The other one is Frostfall, which is not active right now, but we will be activating either later on in the evening in game time, or maybe the next day. I'll explain that in a bit. But a lot of these mods work with the MCM, or the mod configuration menu, which is here, and you have to close it to activate. This has a bunch more things, and makes it so that hunting in Skyrim becomes a little more realistic. You don't kill a deer and immediately open him up and take his skin. It takes some time to do all that, and we can set that up. We go back into it now that it's activated, and we can set the parameters. So all these things take time out of the game, and that does cause some issues when time progresses, and if you're out in the middle of the field and you start getting tired, it'll affect your strength, how fast you move, things of that nature. I tend to try to get prompted on everything. But I also find that the values, because of this, I make them a little more valuable than the default. I figure that's just fair. And you have a bunch of other stuff here. Reweight vanilla. There's a lot of options. A lot of the better mods give options for this. Require a hunting knife. I do not have that turned on because it really starts you off super hamstrung in the beginning, and that's not really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for more realistic, not necessarily a punch in the balls. So we can find a hunting knife, and those do help, but it's not fully required. And so by going into, dang it. So there's our map. We'll get to that in a second. I just hit the wrong button. Going into here, we now have some new skills. Forage and Scrimshaw being the first ones. And Forage is looking for certain things. If you look at the time here, and there is a mod that adds just a clock to the game that makes it easier to see, but we're at 147. If I wanted to forage, I have that set as my shout power, so I hit that, and time passes. I find a couple of things. So it was 147, it's now been an hour later. So just running around the camp looking for things, I found some bugs and a flower. Yay. So let's go ahead and find some food. Maybe find a stream. This is, if you can see the situation, Helgen is off that way. We know we saw a dragon come off over there, and you can see that there are some runes that are very popular in that direction. I'm going to kind of shy away from that. I want to go off this direction. I already found one elk that I'd like to show off later on, but I think there might be another one depending on how it is. So let's get into sneak mode, and I'm going to I've got several mods to change things like the sneak mode icon, and I'll be working on those as we go. But there's almost always a deer over here, but I might have been jibber-jabbering too much for it to be. Is that one way over there? I think so. Yay! We got one. I am the best. I am the best. So, here, we are going around, found a deer, and we killed a deer. Now, here's what Hunterborn does. When you click on it, you're given some options. Manual loot opens it up just like normal. So, if for whatever reason you don't want to mess with the times involved, you can hit the manual loot, grab an arrow or something, and then leave it. So it's right now we're at 317. First thing you have to do, and you can pick it up. It does have a weight. Right now we're very lightweight, so I'm not going to worry about it. First thing is field dress. Give you an animation. Sometimes splatters the screen with blood, and we'll see now that it is now 4:30. So about an hour just to field dress it. But once you have field dressed it, you have the options of skinning pelt, harvesting and butchering the meat, and dispose. I like this one a lot, just because I like to keep the game bloat down whenever possible. As I was talking about the skinning knives or hunting knives before, what we're probably going to get for our first time is going to be a ruined pelt. Okay, pour, and you can see that I'm thirsty now because of how much time is taken. And now it was 4:30. It's taken a long time to skin that, so it's almost 6 o'clock. Harvest ingredients. This mod is really good for alchemist. You get a lot of random stuff out there. I'm hungry as well. And let's go ahead and butcher some meat. Now you get a ridiculous amount of meat off of this thing. And even that, I got 22 pieces. Even that isn't enough. See, just by killing a deer and getting all the ingredients off of it, it has, half a day has passed. As you do this more and more, the times become lessened. Ooh, look, flutterbys. He would have some basic knowledge of alchemy, being kind of a hippie elf and all, but also I tend not to play outside in the dark very much because I'm a coward. I do have a lighting mod that changes things like inside dungeons. I do not use it for outside, just because it's a balance issue. None of the all the mods that enact immersion pretty much only affect you. They do not affect any of the other NPCs, with the exception of one. There's a really neat one that I might try out eventually that makes it so that the NPCs are more audibly alert at night, but less visually, and vice versa during the day. But right now, I just make it so that we can see at night-ish. It's 9:20. We've got some meat. We've got a skin. We're getting tired. We're getting hungry. Let's see. We have some other mods that add certain things into the realistic needs and disease. Allow you to boil water that you find in the stream, so you don't get disease. Things of that nature. You can collect seaweed and firewood, make salt, things like that. I can make charred meat, which makes me thirsty, but we'll just do 3 for now, because if you notice, our bag of goodies in the beginning did have some soup in there. So let's go ahead and have some soup. Maybe take a nap, or maybe go exploring, see how we are. And I'll try to keep to the Bosmer I like meat aspect as much as possible, but I'm not going to kill myself for it. So here you'll see you have a bit more water. Stews and such give you, give you water as well. And I'm full, but I need liquid. Okay, we'll have to go find a stream. Nice little animation that you're eating and drinking. Part of it is for immersion, part of it is just for a little more realism. And so, not tired, a little thirsty, so I think we can go off and find a stream. I think Valen saw one as he came in from the southeast, but we're going to see what we can find. Just kind of... Oh, that's one thing about coming out at night that I don't normally pay attention to, is there's a camp over there. There are a few modders that I want to thank, because they kind of pushed me in this direction, saying, hey, I can do that. I'm not going to say I'm as good as them, but I have nothing but respect for Gopher and Sorcerer Dave, aka Jingles, and I've just started watching a really nice, very pleasant sounding Let's Player by the name of Pim, I think Loathsome Casual is how he refers to himself, and if he's loathsome, then I am vile and hated. This looks like something I should be a little more aware of, and I'm going to quit jibber-jabbering a little bit, because I know there are patrols of people that come in. I just want to make sure that, even though Valen would be very quiet right now, I tend to babble a lot, so hopefully, if you watched the introductory one, I think I had my mic a little too close to my mouth. Yay, potions. Oh, so one other thing, the all-encompassing mod, and I'll explain that once I get out of here, because I'm a little terrified of combat, because I'm not very good, is we're using SkyUI, not SkyUI, Skyrim Redone, as a kind of world-changing mod. It changes a bunch of the perks, changes the combat. So if you look at your little old vanilla game, you might see that a steel arrow for you might be 10 points of damage, maybe 8. What Skyrim Redone does is it increases the damage for a lot of... It increases the damage pretty much all across the board. Increases the armor pretty much all across the board, but leaves things like health and such the same. So you die a lot easier, and it's just painful. So I'm going to go ahead and save, because I have a feeling that it seems like every time I come here I get bombarded. This is a mod called Books Glow, so it lets you know which books you've read and which you haven't, and an added benefit, it lets you know which books are skill books or not, and you do not have to read them when you pick it up. This one will immediately go into my inventory, and I can read it at my leisure, or leisure, whichever. So here we're going to pick a lock. If you see the little, get rid of that. Got some indications around here, some little tick marks to pretty much help me pick the locks. Mods are not all perfect. If you notice, I have no idea how many lockpicks I have left right now. So I know I have 3. And we'll just stick it at that. But this is a novice lock. Probably will be able to get it open. I had a I had a mod before that essentially just bypassed this whole thing. It put a bar above and told you exactly where to move, put the pick in order to open it. I think that's a great mod. There is one major problem with it, though. For some reason, with that mod, you cannot loot ash piles. Ash piles come from things like wraiths and vampires and ghosts, and if you do, you pretty much break your interaction with the world, and it comes from a lockpicking mod from what research I was able to get out of it. So this is a kind of a good middle ground. I still think lockpicking is a silly minigame, but I will bow down and take it for the team. So somewhere in here it looks like. Let's see, let's go a little bit to that one. Okay, let's go back to this one. There we go. That's right, we are some lockpicking fools. Oh my god. That is up to... Usually I don't see things that are like up to level 42 when I'm level 1. I hope that doesn't speak ill of future events. But, yeah, so... Aha! See, they always come right when I get done with that. I'm circle strafing because I'm a bad player. Well, and by circle strafing I mean I'm panicking because there are 3 of them and I have a few healing potions, but not a lot. Did I kill 2 of them already? Sweet. I am awesome. So, one interesting thing about Sky UI. I keep saying Sky UI. Sky UI is wonderful. There's nothing wrong with Sky UI. Sky UI is the best thing ever. One thing with Skyrim, also really good. But I have a mod conflict. And if you notice here how it says Restore Health 1, Restore Health 2, that is a mod that renames things. And it really helps for things like potions. It also helps for arrows. Instead of Steel Arrow and Elven Arrow and Iron Arrow, just Arrow. And then gives you the descriptor afterwards. Because of that, it disables one of the somewhat core concepts of Skyrim Redone. And Skyrim Redone, the potions are over time. And I disabled it. I disabled the part just for the potions, and it did not correct it. And I'm thinking that maybe, just maybe, I did something with another mod that screwed things up, and because of that, I'll figure it out later. So, right now, when it comes to Skyrim Redone, we are cheating, but I can live with that. We're not going to work on that. Get some more bandits. Ooh, a longbow. It also makes a distinction between longbows and short bows. See here, these 4 bracers? You can see that they're 15. In the beginning, I tend to pick up anything that has a weight per value, or value per weight over 10, and then I can always throw it away later. What do you have, Monsieur? You have a steel crossbow. Interesting. And by interesting, I mean yay. Yay! So, let me riddle you this, Batman. So, with the hunting short bow and the steel arrow, our damage is 44. And what that does is that adds the 31 plus the 13 makes 44. If you mouse over the steel crossbow, it's 52, just 8. However, if I were to equip that, blammo, 72, because then it's actually the 52 plus the 20, which makes 72. So steel crossbow or crossbows in this game with Dawnguard are fairly powerful. I tend to like the aesthetic of bows more, but I'm going to hang on to that crossbow for when I really start sucking. And we'll see how that goes. But we did not find any water here, did we? Oh, we got some meat, more meat, triple meat, and rabbit. But I'm fairly certain there is a river somewhere off this way, and right now we are slightly tired. If we get tired, it lowers our strength temporarily, which causes us to walk everywhere. So I'd rather not get too tired, but we are pretty thirsty. And because of that, we make silly decisions. Which, hey look, I see water, I see a shack. Being new to Skyrim, not really... Oop, let's let that guy go. We got plenty of meat. There's no reason to... we will need skins. Okay, so one of the problems with... not problems. Frostfall is an awesome mod. However, Frostfall with Uncle Owen and Baru? Oh, this isn't nice. I don't think I'm supposed to be here yet. But hey, look, a book. Pickpocket. And a chest. Iron War Axe. If you look at the ratio, it is abysmal. The value that you get for selling it. So I'm not even going to bother picking up. But actually, we don't even have a melee weapon right now, so let's go ahead and grab that. Necklace. Note to authorities. I've been here before. Long time ago. I don't remember exactly what this says. So let's go ahead and read it. Yay! I've heard talk about the dragons, but didn't believe it until now. One flew by last week, and ever since we have seen him fly back and forth from a nearby mountain peak. My wife thinks we should move away, go somewhere else. I told her that would be nonsense. As long as we don't bother it, it won't bother us. Still, I thought it would be best if we reported to the local authorities. The creature's lair is just south of the hill behind our shack, near Bear Cave Mill. Well, okay. So, the authorities did not help them out at all. Or they did, because it looks like they got toasted. I'm going to water. I'm going to water, yes. So, we have the ability to drink from the water, and I believe it is that. But I think there is also there's also a ability to drink from stream. Maybe if I just click on the empty bottle. Or is it under these? Nope. Miscellaneous. Did I miss it in the food? Maybe it's because we don't have Frostfall open. Maybe it's tied to that. But there's a way to fill bottles and such. And once we get to town, it should be okay. So anyways, what I was saying before, and I understand how, I think it was Pim that said, yeah, the nature of... can I just pick this up? See, I'm overweighted, overburdened, but that's okay. I'm just going to take it back to camp and deal with it then, because we do need skins. That's what I was trying to allude to before. Hey, look, there's ore up there. Frostfall is a very awesome mod that allows you to feel more realistically in a northern climate. I do not have it active now for a couple reasons. Number one is you need a lot of leather to build tents. So you need shelter, you need warmth, things of that nature, and we have the warmth coming into this. If you notice, I'm wearing all full armor. In Frostfall, that gives complete coverage and keeps you from, freezing to death. But when you're out in the wilderness, you need sleep as well, and it's nice to have a tent. The tents require a lot of leather. With Hunterborn, you don't get leather as easily as not. So I figured for maybe the first couple episodes, I'll hold off on starting with Frostfall, because, like I said, we have furs, we have a camp, and we are in one of the more temperate areas of Skyrim. So, we have fire, we have food. If we were starting further north, then I'd say, yeah, let's not be fully cheaty here. But if you notice, I'm pretty bundled up. I'm doing pretty well. Just kind of strolling around, looking up at the stars. So what I'll probably do, excuse me, get back to camp, maybe get some hot tea to clear out the crap in my throat, Hey look, looks like there's something wrong with the texture there. So I am not a modder, first and foremost, by any stretch of the imagination. I think I mentioned before, I'm an expert on nothing concerning video games, so please use Google to figure out your problems, load orders, things like that. Reddit's Skyrim mod subreddit is really, really good. Finally get the textures pop in. But right now I have it modded pretty much to where I'd like it, and I would like to get some feedback from you all as to what direction you see me taking with this character, what direction you think would be interesting. There are pros and cons to the three main archetypes of characters, and there are subsets of each, but we have the archer, the stealth, the shoot 'em and then maybe finish him off with melee. We have the straight on melee, sword and board type of effect, and then we have the magic. Both the melee and magic tend to be a little faster and not as slow paced. This is going to be a slow paced let's play, which that's fine. I'm old, I'm crotchety. There's nothing wrong with that in my opinion. And why is this area glowing? Weird. And we'll just we'll take it as it goes, but I will say, as a almost confession, I have never beaten Skyrim. So here we can see our elk male carcass. We'll just drop it on the ground. It's no longer inventory, so we can do what we need to do here. We can do all the processing at camp, which is nice. Normally we won't pick up something as heavy, and that slow, methodical walk back to camp was essentially indicative of us dragging it, sweating and crying about how heavy it was all the way back. But I'm going to actually try to... There are, as I showed before, we do have the ability to forage, which I will use again, and that kind of turns up, in this case, nothing. But we have another ability as well called Scrimshaw. Scrimshaw allows us to make certain things. I noticed the first elk we harvested, we got a large bone out of. And with a large bone, we can make a bone hunting knife. That's nice because that will help us get pelts. There are different types of hunting knife. Each one has benefits here and there, and so with this one we'll go ahead and because it's in our inventory, there's a chance we'll get better. Possibly not, in this case not, but it's going to take practice, and each time we do it we'll get a little experience that adds to the total. And so now the dawn is breaking. I don't need more meat, so I'm just going to dispose of it. Thirsty again. I should be tired by now. Slightly tired, thirsty, sober. So I think what I'll do is go ahead and take a nap. Not too long. Maybe 6 hours. Because, I don't have a job or anything. I can sleep in. It's nice and cozy in the toasty morning. Kind of hungry, kind of thirsty. I will stick with eating the things that are liquidy to try to quell my thirst. So I made the mistake last time eating the charred meat. That was silly. Dog meat stew. Would never eat that if I wasn't a Bosmer. So that filled up my hunger and thirst. So if we check our effects now, we're great all around. Everything's wonderful. Life is bueno. So now, where do we want to go? Maybe we can go hunting again. Maybe we can go check out Helgen. See what we saw up there. We have on our person right now not too much weight. A couple extra items of such. I'm going to go ahead and favorite some of these, and I'll show you the modded better list. I'll give that one a 1, and stick that one to a 3. And so let me go ahead and stop the recording now. We'll make this episode 1, and we'll pick up shortly after with episode 2. And thank you very much for watching.